Hello, and welcome to Textual Tension. I am your co-host, Rachel, and I hop in here every other week and give you a quick rundown of any updates or, give you all them resources that you might need. Hello, everybody. We will go ahead and get right down to it. Hey, social media. We have it. We are on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We are on TikTok. And we do have a YouTube channel. You can find us at Textual Tension Pod. I'm pretty sure across the board. If you search for Textual Tension on YouTube, we should pop up. We post our episodes, the audio of our episodes up there. We have a Patreon, which is patreon.com/textual tension. There's all sorts of neat, fun bonus content that you can find over there. We have a TeePublic. I do not plug that very often, but I'm in the process of completely overhauling our merch store and maybe a few other art-related things. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So if you want to get any of our current merch, you can head on over to our TeePublic store, which you can find links to on our Instagram or also on our website, and get any of those. Maybe things with like our current logo on it, or some cool homeboy, our girl, etc. shirts. Bitextual shirts, all that jazz. They might perhaps be going away here in a little while. So you could check that out. And we have a Discord. If you want to actually talk to us and hang out with us, you can head on over to our Discord, which you can access through our Instagram. We talk books, we talk projects, we talk crafts, we talk just memes, thirst traps. There's an entire channel dedicated to thirst traps. It's a fun time and it's a great space. So if you are interested in hanging out with us, you can head on over to our Discord and join the family. Now, I think that is just about it in terms of announcements and resources, so I'm going to go ahead and give you some romance novel wisdom. I never really got into all of that, like, woo-woo crystal kind of stuff, like using crystals to get rid of negative energy and all that jazz. It's a really cool idea and everything, but I guess I'm just jaded. Boy, that was dumb. I've done a number of bad jokes lately. Maybe next time I'll do something a little more crazy. Who knows? That was dumb. That was just first thing that came into my head, not gonna lie. Well, hey, this episode is an absolute blast. So I'm really excited for y'all to listen to it. And just, I don't know, I hope y'all have as much fun as I did. And if you're a patron, enjoy the impromptu Rachel Science Corner. And if you want to talk about science, hit me up on that Discord. So without further ado, please enjoy episode 112, Barbie Dream Counseling.
Oh, love, tearing me apart from the inside out so I can see myself from the inside.
Hello, and welcome to Textual Tension, a love-hate relationship with romance novels. I am your co-host, Rachel.
I'm your co-host, Margie.
Every other week, one of us reads and summarizes a romance novel for the other unsuspecting co-host. This week, Margie's listening in.
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me.
Yay! And together, we unpack what the fuck just happened. Margie, it's kind of nice. You got the deep, low, sexy voice thing going, and I did that entire intro kind of like a radio announcer. So I don't know why.
You did. Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's. I don't even know what else to say.
I don't either. I don't know. Normally, like this is throwing me. The past couple times we've like done a little bit of banter in the beginning, and this time it's like,
I know.
Are we gonna banter? Or are we gonna?
I was on vacation. That was great.
Yeah. We get to see Beetlejuice this weekend.
We get to see Beetlejuice this weekend. I saw a super yacht while I was on vacation. Saw it. There was no yacht violence. It was extremely disappointing.
Margie, be the yacht violence you want to see in the world.
I tried. I tried. I saw a helicopter take off from it. That was kind of cool.
Yeah. That's pretty cool too.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then it was like, it's a super yacht. It's only the 85th largest in the world. And I'm like, how big is the biggest one? How big?
We looked it up in terms of how big this boat was. And I think they said it was like 300 feet long.
It's cuffing season.
I told my mom about it, and she's like, well, okay, I don't really have any context for that. How big was the Titanic? Margie,
Oh my God.
that yacht was a third of the size of the Titanic, lengthwise.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Right?
Do 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 do.
Never let go,
Jack. I did, and then so where I was, there were tons of cruise ships coming in all the time, and so I did like. And I was with my best friend Janelle. Hey Janelle, shout out to her. And I would tell her, I would be like, I could get up on the bow of that ship. I would totally buy a ticket on that cruise ship, just get on the bow of the ship, and just so I could do a Jack and Rose situation. I don't care if they kicked me off. It would be worth it. Like,
I mean, what are they going to do? Kick you off in the middle of the ocean?
Oh man, then I just lived the dream. That I'm just fully committing to the role I play in Titanic.
Atlantis. Oh, not Atlantis. Not Muffin? Wait, sorry. We're on different.
Who?
Totally.
What? What?
What? Oh, sorry. Okay.
All right.
Check out our crossover episode with
Fairy Tale Fix.
Fairy Tale Fix. All right, Margie, I have a physical book for you today. I know. It occurs to me I should probably pull it up so I can send it to you. Oops.
Probably.
It's fine. I'll keep talking while I do that. So I've been a bad book friend.
You've been a
haven't
bad
really.
girl. Have you been a naughty bad girl?
Not in a
do you
fun
need
way.
to be? Do you need to be punished?
Not in a fun way. I haven't been to the library in a long time, and I realized it the last time I was down hanging out with you. So when I came back, I went to the library that day, and because there's just something that's so much nicer about walking into like the romance novel section of the library and just like picking up a book as opposed to searching online and trying to find, whatever. It's just so much nicer to do that. So I did that. And, there's a particular genre that we haven't tackled in a while that I thought maybe we should dip our toes back into.
I can't wait.
And that genre is leather daddy sci-fi.
Ooh. Did you send it to me?
I did. Please enjoy this leather mommy cover.
Hey,
Yeah.
Okay. It looks like actually there are a few covers too, which is interesting.
Oh, I only know this is the one that I have. Which is the leather mommy.
Leather mommy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm still trying
abs.
to. I just want to get it big enough, like, heyo, so that I can actually see it well. Heyo.
Is it in yet?
Okay. There we go. All right. So yeah, those pants are leather. They're not like good leather. They look like they're
thin leather.
Yeah, they don't look like a good comfy leather. I mean, no leather is breathable, but like you can,
these are plastic
leather pants, and then a leather cape jacket. I think
it's one of the strangest garments I've ever seen.
Yes.
It's like if someone took a trench coat, cut it into little cap sleeves, cut the lapel off, and then cut it so that instead of going in front of your legs, it swooshes behind you all the time. Yeah. And that's the best I can do to describe it.
Yeah. And then she's just wearing a black bra beneath that. And you're right, her abs are pretty damn
solid
good. And
abs.
she's also solid abs. And she's also like standing with her hip cocked to the side, and then her breast cocked to the other side. It's a very interesting position. It doesn't look particularly comfortable.
I just noticed that if you look very closely at the bottom, right above where the little itty bitty tiny name of the book is, which is smaller than both authors' names.
Excuse me. Two authors. It's Jane Ann Krentz writing as Jane Castle, which I am going to assume is like the sister of Rick Castle.
Yes.
And the book is called Siren's Call.
Yeah, so if you look just slightly above Call, you can see her high-heeled boot that she's wearing. But that boot is not in the right spot for her legs to make sense.
You don't think so?
No, I think they're too small. I think that it makes her something's weird there. Something's happening.
It looks like
and I don't know what it is.
I think that her knee might be out of place. Like one leg's knee might be higher than the other. Because which is interesting to say the least.
Happening.
It could be also that so if you're looking at the cover, I can definitely see like you're right, the one foot like with the heel on it. But the other foot does not seem to have a heel, which would make your stature very awkward and your knees look like they are out, like they are not even. But
I don't understand what's happening.
She probably shouldn't continue doing that. Otherwise, she's going to need to see a doctor, orthopedic, podiatrist, someone.
Also, very important, two things. One, as you mentioned, it's Jane and Krentz writing as Jane Castle. Jane and Krentz is smaller than Jane Castle, but both are bigger than the name of the book.
Siren's Call, right.
And very important, this woman has no eyes, in that it's chopped off from the eyes up.
No, it's chopped off from the lips up. Yeah, chopped off from the lips up from where I'm looking.
You're right.
And also, but then her hair looks like it's either it's being electrocuted, maybe
blowing in the wind. Although electrocuted is a pretty good call given the book.
And then behind her, I don't know what's happening. Either Chernobyl or
there's like
some
a big
sort
blue
of like
flash in the sky.
Fire is happening. She also has very much a chosen one belt buckle situation going on. Like,
yes. Now, very important question. Given the cover of this and our previous experience with covers like this, when would you think this book was written?
I want to guess early 2000s.
That's what it feels like to me, like a 2001 kind of Matrix style dude.
Yes, I was thinking, or like, isn't there a movie series like about like a vampire hunter or something, where the guy in it wears like a kind of a similar leather daddy jacket situation?
Is it Blade?
It might be. I think it's Blade.
Yeah, Blade.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it was written in 2015.
Shut the frick up. What?
I know. I would not have placed this at 2015.
No.
It threw me for a loop, gotta say.
That is hilarious. Oh,
all right.
My God. Okay.
Go ahead and hit me with that description.
Okay. In the mysterious world of Harmony, there are places filled with unexplored marvels. But Rain Shadow Island isn't about to give up its secrets. Thank God. I thought that Rain Shadow was the character's name.
No.
In the alien catacombs of Rain Shadow, there are creatures whose compelling songs lure the unwary to their death. That's why Rafe Coppersmith... Oh, boy.
Don't worry. His name isn't Rain Shadow. It's Rafe Coppersmith.
Hired to clear out the catacombs for exploration, needs a music talent. What? He knows the perfect one, but she probably doesn't want anything to do with him. Okay, it's 2015. You could buy an iTouch. Still.
This is alien stuff. We'll get into it.
You could buy an iTouch. Ella Morgan had once fallen hard and fast for Rafe, but then he disappeared for months, and he's not about to tell her why.
Yes, he does.
Ella, too, has secrets that only her dust bunny knows. Okay. She's not just a music talent. She's a siren, a paranormal singer capable of singing men to sleep or to their deaths. Sweet.
Yep.
But once on Rain Shadow, Rafe and Ella will learn that surrendering to passion doesn't come without risks, and fighting fire and fire only adds to the flame.
Don't worry. He definitely does tell her why. Also, no, she doesn't. She doesn't fall hard and fast for him. Just, little things.
Little things, just romance novel things.
Yeah. So, this book, And I feel like there's a very special subgenre of books that fall into this category. They fall into the category of never explaining what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So I am actually going to be starting this recap segment of our podcast, not by talking about our characters. I'm going to give you all everything I can about this world based on what I gathered throughout reading it, bearing in mind that nothing is explained.
Now, can I be a devil's advocate here for a second?
Sure.
I will say, Rachel, now, you've picked book 4 out of 4 of the Rain Shadow Harmony series.
Yes, but I will say argue. Devil's advocate to your devil's advocate.
Please.
Each of the books in this series are what
Standalone.
you would expect. Yes, standalone. They should be. They're supposed to be. So they each follow a different couple and everything. And I have read books, and in fact, some of my favorite romance novels do this very well, where they throw you in the middle of something, and whether it be by context clues, even if it's picking up the second book in the series, even if you, in books that require you to read the first book, even if you hadn't read the first book, you'd still be able to be like, oh, I know exactly what's happening in this world, what the world's deal is, right? It can be done. It is not done here.
Okay.
So that, so I'm going to give you everything that I can, bearing in mind that this is what I picked up from context clues, and I can't guarantee it's right. So I'll do my best here.
Okay.
So we are on the planet called Harmony. Harmony is not Earth. The best thing that I can guess is that humans made a portal and we ended up on this world. Just 'cause.
Well, okay then.
Yeah, so we live on Harmony here. There used to be aliens on this planet, and they inhabited these vast underground crystal catacombs. These catacombs are the human cities are kind of built above them, and you are able to go in and navigate these crystal catacombs, which cause all kinds of funky stuff to happen to technology and everything when you're in there, using special crystals like amber and stuff.
So let me ask you this. Did Americans think that there was oil in these catacombs and that's why the aliens are gone? Because Americans were like, oil might be in there.
My understanding is the aliens were already gone when we showed up. At least that's the story that they're telling us.
Okay.
There is, however, a lot of lost alien technology in those catacombs and a lot of weapons down there. So people
Ice Planet Barbarians.
Yeah, kinda. So people want to go down there for all sorts of illicit reasons. If you don't have and there's all sorts of ruins and all kinds of, which honestly sounds kind of cool. There's a bunch of really interesting, alien tech and stuff.
Very sort of Avatar as well, even though I've never seen that series, so I could be totally wrong. But
a little bit. Avatar's a little bit more
alive,
Pocahontas-y in not a great way. In a bad way, actually.
In the bad way. The Disney Pocahontas-y.
In the Disney way.
Which is already bad.
Yeah, not great. So, all sorts of cool stuff. So a lot of people make a living of going down and exploring. There's companies that just explore alien ruins for this alien tech and all these things. Or sometimes people use the areas for nefarious stuff, like trafficking alien tech and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, not all of it is mapped out. If you don't have special crystals, you will get lost immediately in there. Basically, it's just this big kind of Wild West. So whether it was before the humans came to Harmony or as a result of humans coming to Harmony, humans on Harmony have special supernatural abilities.
Okay.
Everyone has an ability. When they use their ability or their innate supernatural power in any way, it's called rezzing. I don't know why. It just is. They also can res anything that's technology. So when she goes to use a hairdryer, she reses it. I don't know what this means.
Is it wom 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 wom?
No, that comes up later.
Okay.
No, I have no idea what rezzing means, but they use it in very much like how, to go back to Avatar, how Aang is like Hotman.
Avatar, The Last Airbender.
The Last Airbender, the good Avatar.
Yes, the good Avatar.
Yeah, I don't know what it means, but it means just activating something, I guess. It's also, however, used to describe if you have a supernatural power, you have a supernatural aura. And certain people with supernatural powers can see your aura. And
Neat. See
when it's rezzed. Again, I don't know what that means, but throwing it out there. So there are certain abilities that people have that are like extra powerful and tend to get you on some government watch lists if you have them. So one of them is being a siren. So a siren's abilities involve, and I'm going to do my absolute best to say this with a straight face because it's sci-fi, so anything can happen, right? It's basically future magic. Sirens can hear and produce frequencies outside of the human audible range that are in the supernatural frequencies.
Oh.
I couldn't do it. I giggled.
Okay. So you
I
take them to a haunted house and they can talk to ghosts?
They can't talk to ghosts.
What?
It's very nebulous what hearing and producing these frequencies actually is doing. But she can sing people into unconsciousness and kill them.
So she's
I don't know
Jigglypuff. What she is Jigglypuff.
Pretty much, but she with murder. Jigglypuff, but with a knife. So, man, Pokemon's fucked up. I love it so much, but there's so much potential murder for those 10-year-olds to experience.
Oh, yeah. It's. I mean, the only thing that's worse is The Sims.
Yeah. Okay, so that's just about all of the background that you need. Outside of like everything being rezzing or psi something, that's pretty much the level of world building we have in this book.
All right.
Cool. Great and good. Let's get into it finally. Prologue. Ella is at a wedding. She is in fact a bridesmaid at this wedding. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me get into the characters first. Duh. First we have Ella Morgan. She is a siren. She's pretty attractive. I could not tell you what she looks like outside of the fact that she has whiskey gold hair. I don't remember the rest, but she's hot.
Interesting color choice. All right, then.
That's all you need to know. And then we have Rafe Coppersmith. And I do want it known that Rafe is short for Raphael, so
I don't know which one I hate more.
I hate Rafe more. I don't mind Raphael. I think Raphael's fine. I'd rather you shorten Raphael to Raph instead of Rafe. I don't know why, but meh.
I just don't like either of them. Just meh.
Well, I'm personally not into our boy Rafe. He has jet black hair that has a sharp widow's peak in the front.
Okay.
It is like shoulder length, which all I can think about is my father with shoulder length hair because my dad has black hair with a very sharp widow's peak. So
yeah, that's going to be a big turnoff, bro.
Yep. And raptor's eyes. What I think the author meant was like hawk eyes.
Yeah, all I can think of is Jurassic Park.
All I could think of was Jurassic Park, which becomes way more relevant than you expect later on in the book, which leads me to believe maybe. Who knows?
Maybe. Oh, man, can he turn door handles?
He can.
Oh shit.
Clever girl.
Clever girl.
So now let's get to the prologue. Ella's at a wedding. She's a bridesmaid at the wedding. And is about to perform the most asshole thing that you can at a wedding. So when the actual ceremony is taking place, like the bride and groom are at the altar saying their vows and everything.
Sci vows.
Their sci vows. Their alien vows. Her phone goes off. Which is fine. Shit happens. Not great. But her phone goes off. She answers it. She's up there too, by the way. She's a bridesmaid. And then stops the ceremony. Because she just got confirmation that, best friend, your soon-to-be husband is a wife murderer. He's been married twice before and killed them, and he's gonna kill you too.
She didn't think to tell the bride this months before. Like that's a conversation you have when you're picking out flowers. When you're picking out the fucking dresses.
No.
Like, you're looking at fabrics together, and you're like, hey, just FYI, like, there's all this, like, weird shit that went down with your fiance. Okay, love you.
Bye. You have that conversation.
Another glass of champagne?
You have that conversation before because she apparently got a, quote, bad feeling when her friend first introduced him to her. And today, however many months later, was the first time that she got actual confirmation that it was true. And she just didn't want to say anything until, she knew that he for sure was a murderer.
I do understand not wanting to tell someone that you're getting weird vibes from someone that they deeply care about. But I think that she would have had more evidence and stuff to back this up before the actual ceremony.
She hired a private investigator. So yeah. And hey, Margie, I just want you to know that if I ever got really bad vibes from a partner of yours, I would tell you before you were making your vows.
Yeah, well, I would.
In front of a room full of people.
Do you realize how much money that bitch also just went through?
Yeah.
She just burned through so much money. Weddings are so expensive. I don't care if it's on Psy or on Harmony. They're always gonna. I don't care if it's on eHarmony or on Harmony. They're gonna be fucking expensive.
Yeah, it's not great, not ideal, and honestly, I think kind of a shitty friend move, personally.
Yes.
So, homeboy, the husband to be, decides, I've been outed, and pulls a gun that he had in his suit and holds it to Ella's head and takes her hostage.
This is when I pull out the popcorn. I'm so glad I got invited.
Oh, I've been filming on my phone this entire time. And starts to try to drag Ella away because he's gonna murder her, I guess, for telling his secrets. Who knows? And so she sings him into unconsciousness because she's a siren.
Jigglypuff, jigglypuff.
Thankfully, everyone just assumes that he had a really convenient brain aneurysm.
Nobody else falls asleep?
No, she directed it specifically at him. And because it's outside of human audible range, no one else can hear it.
Okay, don't.
So, homeboy just drops out of nowhere.
Well, okay then.
Yeah. I totally didn't get into triggers.
Yeah, I just realized that too.
Yeah. There's death of animals and death of people and just violence in general. And that's about it, really.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, discussions of rape.
Okay.
Not it actually happening, but discussions of it. And that's about it.
All right.
Nothing too crazy.
All right.
Yeah. Relatively tame, considering. So. Yo, dog. I heard you like prologues. So that was the first prologue. Let's get into the second prologue.
Which is, I'm assuming, about Rafe?
No, it's still Ella.
Okay.
Like a month or two later, not even that far later, Ella, her job is she is a dream counselor. What do dream counselors do? I don't know, but she's a dream counselor, and she's particularly good at it because I guess with her siren abilities, she can see people's auras. Again, no idea how that helps.
No, what she tells them to do is buy more crystals.
Buy more crystals. Oh, so what she can do is because she can sing in these like weird extra frequencies, wom wom wom. She actually can like sing people to like calm down and things like that. So she can influence people's dreams in that way, but she's not there while they're sleeping. So I have no idea what she does is what I'm saying.
Yeah, she's really not using that gift effectively. Like if I could just have some bitch come in my room and like give me a really, really good night's sleep, like a 12-hour one.
Yeah. Well,
I'd pay for that service.
She has to lay low and kind of under the radar and just make it seem like she's just talented because, again, she doesn't want anyone to know she's a siren. This is like a secret for her. So she used to work for a big firm. She's left the firm and struck out on her own. And in the world of dream counseling, appearance is everything. So she's like doing her best. She's been saving up money. She's doing her best to like put forth a really high-end appearance because that's what people want when they go to a dream counselor.
Gotta get those high level, that high cost pleather.
Right, exactly. But she is still kind of in not the best spot and like not ideal, but she's working her way up. You know, she's doing her best. And she's actually currently on her first client, helping her first client, who is a dust bunny. A dust bunny is a creature that looks like a dust bunny that's about the size of an actual bunny. It has 4 eyes and 6 legs. And that's all I can tell you.
Welcome to Night Vale? What?
And apparently they can like kill a guy, but they're just like cute balls of fluff. That's it.
And this is a client.
Yes. I do not know if these are sentient. I mean, they're obviously like, there's some level of understanding, but basically this dust bunny came up to her and like was distressed. I do not know how she deduced that this dust bunny's friends had been kidnapped in the catacombs and it needed help. No idea how she got there, but that's what she's doing right now.
So she's in the catacombs, or she's talking to this dust bunny?
She's in the catacombs. The dust bunny cannot speak. So again, I don't know how she got here. Do you see what I mean by critical lack of explanations in this book?
Yeah.
Great. I almost didn't read it because I was confused. And then I powered through for a couple more chapters and hit a point where I was like, I can't not read it now.
I can't believe that's just Dr. Pepper that you're drinking. It seems like this is some sort of fever dream that you got off of Robitussin.
Speaking of fevers, it's gonna get worse. So at least more wilds. Strap the fuck in. So she's helping this dust bunny thing find its friends in the catacombs. While she's hunting them down, she finds out that they've been kidnapped by an illegal alien arms dealer. She frees them, sings the arms dealer to death, or just unconscious, really, not actual death, and is trying to decide whether she should take the illegal alien arms to turn them in, or just, like, fucking leave, which she should leave. But she's trying to decide when she turns around and gasp. Someone catches her, trying to figure out what to do. It's Rafe.
Oh, no.
Yeah. She does find him very attractive. She thinks he's quite hot. Turns out, because I don't know about you, but when I find a woman next to an unconscious dude down in deep, dark catacombs in a room owned by an illegal arms dealer that I'm investigating, I tell them my life story. So, turns out he's consulting for the alien FBI and hunting down this arms dealer.
HFBI.
It's called, like, FFBI or something, but I like Alien FBI better. And he quickly surmises that she's a siren and puts 2 and 2 together between this and the wedding where the guy, a couple months ago, where the guy had a brain aneurysm. I don't know how he does. It makes no sense.
How does he connect all of these random-ass dots?
You know, I don't know how he puts 2 and 5 together. No fucking clue.
He had that red string on the wall ready. He was ready to make that connection. It was already hanging up on the cable. It's like, no, wait. I know this
he
bitch.
made that connection, and I'm like, what?
Yeah. Right. And then meanwhile, there are dust bunnies on the floor, and he's like, oh, nope, it all fits. It all fits together. It all comes together.
Makes sense.
It all makes sense now.
Okay. He's like, this is a deep cut for all of you comic book fans out there. He's like the fucking Question, who is a great superhero, and I highly recommend checking him out. He's hilarious. Anyway.
It also, no, here we go. Emperor's New Groove, where it's like, wait, how did you guys get back here before us? I don't know. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So, all of the sudden, however, so he quickly finds out, oh, she's definitely a siren. Don't worry. I'll keep your secret. Again, you don't know each other.
Yeah. And, thanks for keeping my secret, that doesn't have anything to do with you?
Yeah,
Like,
right? And that I never confirmed. Like, you just said that, and I was like, no, I'm not. And you're like, nope, you definitely are. Okay.
Okay.
Sure, Jan. So all of the sudden, and I will say, to be fair, he asks how she knocked the guy unconscious, and her brain was like, I have musical talent. You could have said anything.
Yeah, that's
Whatever.
That's not how music works unless you're the Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah. All of a sudden, however, the arms dealer buddies show up, and Rafe and Ella end up defeating them because Rafe uses this magical alien technology against them, and he lets her go without reporting her, but he wants something in exchange.
Oh, how not kind.
He wants to take her on a coffee date.
Okay, just go on. I don't know if I'm like still not awake from my nap yet, or if this plot is just like
Margie, we're
very
still in
weird.
the second prologue. There is no plot yet.
Oh fuck. Okay, just keep going.
So she makes it out. Turns out the dust bunny that she helped save its friends shows up and pays her for the job, I guess, in what is a very expensive and rare piece of crystal. So now Ella is rich and able to move into a very high-end place for her business.
Okay, well that's dope.
Yeah, good for her. So now we're actually, that is where we are now. 3 months later, in her super fancy crystal high-rise place, because again, everything's crystals or psi or res or whatever, in her new dream counseling group.
Her new Barbie dream house.
Her new Barbie dream house.
Her new Barbie dream counseling. Dream Barbie counseling clinic.
Her Barbie dream counseling clinic. That's the name of the episode. So here's the thing though, like, you were just had an interaction with a consultant for the alien FBI who knows that you are a super powerful special snowflake and just saw you interacting with alien illegal weapons.
Uh-huh.
And you just moved from a shitty, like, rented office space to the 16th floor of a high-rise in 3 months immediately after that interaction. Do you think that's gonna spark some questions?
Nah.
No, it's probably fine. So 3 months later, she's in her really nice office, in her Barbie dream office, that she bought.
Her dream counseling office.
Sorry, you're right.
Excuse you, dream counseling office.
Her Barbie dream counseling office. Which also has a new name because, again, appearances are everything. And she decided to change the name, which is bad business, I think. But whatever. Bad business sense. And guess who shows up for a meeting? It's Rafe. 3 months later. And she is a little bit... No, she's pissed at him. She absolutely hates Rafe's guts.
Did he stand her up?
Yeah.
On a date that he asked her to?
That he tentatively
cornered
was like,
her
yeah,
into?
I'll stop by maybe. And then he stood her up. The level of hatred that she has for him, to my mind, doesn't seem warranted.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, we're going to assume also that we're in the future and that, like, ghosting is... People get ghosted all the time.
Yeah, well, and, like, he works for a dangerous company.
Yeah.
I probably would have assumed something happened. I don't know. You also never got his number, have no idea how to contact this dude, didn't know his last name.
She can't communicate through the crystals to him. The Barbie dream counseling
Barbie dream
crystals.
Yeah. So Ella isn't pleased. She's really mad at him because he stood her up. But Rafe really needs her help. Turns out, Rafe Coppersmith is part of a very rich and expensive alien tech mining company. And he is heading up an excavation at a new site, and they're running into a bit of a snag. Namely, there's kind of been some So basically they opened up this alien ruin, and there's this like, it must have been like a bio lab or something, because it's essentially like a nature preserve, like an alien nature preserve. Yeah. Except that some of the creatures have like come back, like with, as they opened it, they like, you know, came out. And so some of the people that are exploring this...
Okay, I'm done.
So some of the people that are exploring this, I'm going to need you to hold that thought. Some of the people that are exploring this have started disappearing. And the way that they're disappearing involves, like, supernatural music, right? So essentially sirens. Like, these creatures are, like, singing... Hold it for me. I need you to hold it for me. So these creatures are like singing people and like luring them to them like hunting wise with this supernatural music. Margie, guess what type of creatures they are in this alien catacomb?
Jigglypuff.
No, you had it. You saved it for me. They're dinosaurs. They're singing dinosaurs.
Oh my god. Just that whole... No. But, and what a weird also, because what I was also thinking of was Alien, like the movie, but also Predator, the movie. Like,
you could have made it anything, and you picked fucking dinosaurs on this other planet. Why would this planet have dinosaurs?
I think it happened on Doctor Who once.
Like I said, I wasn't going to finish this book, and then I hit the part where they talked about fucking dinosaurs. And I was like, I have to do it now. I have to finish this.
Are they like, okay, so when you say dinosaurs, though, are they like Earth-based dinosaurs, or are they just creatures that were dead and are now back alive on Harmony? Or are they giant feathery lizards?
They look like the 90s version, like Jurassic Park dinosaurs, but they have mirrored skin, and that's the only difference. And then their singing abilities. But biologically speaking, they're dinos, baby.
What? Where did they come from?
You had the world was your oyster. The world was your alien. You could have made anything. Why'd you pick dinos?
That's
so weird. You know, singing dinosaurs.
Okay.
Barbie's dream dinosaurs.
Barbie's dream dinosaurs! They're not pink. They're pink now.
Yep. They can be mirrored and pink. So basically, coming back to our dinos, Rafe needs someone with supernatural music abilities to help him figure out how to stop these dinos from killing all of his people. And she has very strong supernatural music abilities. So one thing that actually kind of strikes Ella when Rafe comes into the room is because they do tend to have like a very visceral supernatural reaction to each other, like in the space, like their auras affect each other.
Wom, wom, wom. The crystals.
Go listen to our what was the big blue alien book called?
Ice Planet Barbarians.
Yeah, go listen to that episode for the origin of Mwam Mwam Mwam.
Mwam Mwam Mwam.
So she notices in his aura, because remember she can see auras, that he has what's known as a psi fever. You mentioned fevers before. Basically, what that means is that no one really knows exactly what it means, but it means that something really traumatic happened to him. Which, again, she knows this and just assumed that he stood her up on a date instead of something really traumatic happening to him for the past 3 months.
Yeah, of course. No.
Seems unreasonable to me. But that's
I love how he's putting together all of these like super far apart clues that don't really make any sense, and then she can't figure out, put two little itty bitty like pin drops on the board that are right next to each other. She's like, no, I don't see the connection here.
I just don't see it.
I don't understand.
But she also recognizes that, like, obviously that's something super personal and like super traumatic has happened. So she's like, he knows that she notices it, and she doesn't say anything. She's like, he kept my secret, I'll keep his. It's fine. which he really appreciates. So she agrees to help him because he is a super high-end client with a very rich family, and it would look really, really good for her business if she had the Coppersmith, whatever the fuck his name is, on her client list, right? So she's
David
like, all
Copperfield.
Right. Yeah, whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah.
I don't remember. It's Copperfield or Coppersmith.
It's Coppersmith.
Oh, thank you. It's fine. So she agrees to help him, and he's like, cool, we'll leave tonight. And she's like, no, we won't. I have a charity thing I have to go to, and I can't miss it. And he's like, fuck, we'll leave tomorrow, but I'm coming with you to the charity thing because I'm now your bodyguard, because there is kind of maybe a little bit of a terrorist group that's trying to stop us from doing this.
Hand up. I do like that trope, so I'm okay with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
do like
fine.
the trope.
Their relationship in and of itself isn't problematic in the way that we usually see problematic, because both of them are kind of problematic, but not in a horrible way. Just kind of mildly problematic.
Yeah, mild. Okay.
A sprinkle. A cocaine powder dusting. We haven't used that inside joke in a while.
No.
Wow. Powdered sugar cocaine dusting. Cool. I don't even remember what episode that one originated.
Well, and it's also it's a weird relationship because, like I said before, it's like he's making all of these assumptions about her, but concluding correctly, unfortunately, she can't put 1 and 2 together, so they don't feel like they're like equal partners in that way.
No, but I will say that she does a good. The author does a good job that like both of them are on the equal power level.
Okay. Well, that's very
like
good.
She's incredibly strong, like stronger than he is, I would say.
Yeah,
like, she's really powerful. So he has a little bit more time to kill because he expected to leave that night. So he goes and talks to his buddy, who's the head of the alien FBI, and his buddy. Rafe kind of gets a little bit of a shock because his buddy is talking about like, oh, you're talking to that Ella girl, and like raises the questions of how she raised so high, got all that money or whatever. And he's like, I think she might be a siren. I don't know. Well, he states, he talks about the wedding and then another thing in her past. So he actually at least has a reason to think that she might be a siren.
Okay.
And Rafe's like, I didn't say anything, I swear. Like, but, so we know that people are suspecting her of being a siren. So they go to this party, and she tells him, gives him a little bit of background about her and like how because she's like, I know that you're wondering how I got all this money, like everything that happened. And she tells him everything. She's like, I got this money from that client that I was helping, and I left my previous company because one of my clients tried to rape me. And my boss tried to blame me for it. So I left.
The Dust Bunnies are hopefully not going to rape you.
No. God, I hope not. Not into that's not this kind of book. Or this isn't that kind of book.
Yeah.
So they go to the gig. It's, it's fine. They take a limo to the party. It's nothing crazy happens at the party. And then when they go to leave, it's weird because their regular driver isn't there. It's a new driver. They're like, sorry, he went home sick, so we have a new driver. Rafe, you have made the most wild jumps and conclusions up till now, and you don't see this one? Okay.
See what one? I'm sorry. I'm very confused.
Oh, right.
What are you assuming? What are you suggesting?
Nothing. It's probably
Nothing.
fine that the
It's totally
person
fine.
you're... Yeah, it's fine. So it turns out someone's trying to kidnap them. Whoa! Who saw that?
No way!
Oh, God. Ella explains to them that, hey, you can drop him off and then drop me off. So she's going to be alone in the car at some point, and instead they try to kidnap both of them.
Interesting. So they want...
It is explained later.
Okay.
So they try to basically pump knockout gas into the back of this car. They try to knockout gas them, and they end up escaping. Rafe busts out a window, and they're able to get out of the car. And they're in like a really shady part of town. So they run into some abandoned buildings to try to escape. And these bad guys who had been kind of lying in wait come out and try to lure them out using alien technology. Good news. Ella can kind of counteract this alien technology because it's sound-based, so she can help. Bad news, Rafe can't do anything except shoot the people because this whole psi fever thing that he has, it turns out it has removed his abilities.
Psi fever? Wait, what's psi fever? I missed that.
the fever in his aura that she noticed when he was in her office. Yeah,
okay.
it's called the Psi fever. It's taken. He can't use his abilities anymore.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they end up using Rafe's stun gun, and Ella's ability to neutralize music stuff. They're able to take these guys out, and they figure out that they're all part of some organization. They don't know what, but they all have like matching tattoos or something. And that's about all they can get before they need to get the hell out of there. So they escape into the catacombs, because the catacombs kind of connect everything. And they're able to make it to, and they start heading towards a remote airstrip to get to this, like, the area that Ella's, like, where they were going to go in the morning, basically, right? Rain Shadow Island. So, along the drive, because it's like a couple-hour drive, he actually starts to tell her a little bit about what this fever thing is actually doing to him. Because it's going to affect them moving forward, right? Because obviously he can't use his powers anymore, so something's up. So it turns out he started having really, really vivid and bad that's the word of the day.
Hallucinations. Wait,
Hallucinations.
hallucinations.
What? I like hallucinogens better. It sounds like carcinogen. And he hasn't really been able to sleep for more than 20 minutes at a time for the past, like, week and a half, which doesn't seem possible to me, but okay.
That's not healthy.
No. Because after about 20 minutes of sleeping, he goes into these really, really bad, nightmare hallucination kind of things.
Ooh.
And so she's like, pull over. You're going to get in the passenger seat. I'm going to drive, and I'm going to, remember, dream counselor here, I'm going to try to help you sleep, because
Listen to me. I am the captain now.
I am the Barbie dream counselor. Now, Ken, get in the damn passenger seat.
Yeah, seriously. Why is Ken driving anyway?
So she actually does help him get some actual sleep, because she tells him, she's like, you're useless to me. You can't protect me for shit if you're tired. Like, you need to sleep. So she helps him
Be a man.
actually sleep.
Go to sleep.
And he's like, accepts. He's like, yes, you know what? You're right. Sure, I will let you help me. Which, good on him, I guess. So he gets some actual sleep, and they end up making it to this airstrip and head to Rain Shadow Island. Quick sidebar before we get into the rest of the plot.
Rain doesn't really make a shadow? What?
No, it doesn't.
No.
But shh, it's fine. Shadows are cool, and it rains a lot. So Rain Shadow. So a few days after they make it to Rain Shadow Island, so it's kind of like star cuts to them in Rain Shadow Island. Ella wakes up in the middle of the night, and this is like the first night that she wakes up and she doesn't feel like horribly seasick, because the boat ride over to this island was rough for her. And she's kind of like staring out at the rain, and she notices that Rafe is also on this, like, you know, veranda, whatever thing that she's standing on. And he ends up coming over to her room, and they agree to finally talk about...
Oh, fuck? Sorry, talk? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
talk. Yeah, fuck, talk, huh? About what the hell's been going on with him and what happened to him. Huh? Well, actually, yes, partially that. And what happened to him and why he never, like, showed up. So, basically... Cliff Notes version of what happened to him, and there's a lot that happened to him, so I'm just gonna Cliff Notes it. He was leading an expedition to save some people from his company in the catacombs. Basically, this horrible accident happened, and he got... it's never clear whether he saved the people or they all died. I assume they all died, but he manages to survive by getting into this mystical alien room or whatever. This room that somehow helped him survive this horrible, like, energy storm that was happening around him.
Filled with Twizzlers and peanut M&Ms.
I guess. Gave him these visions of this, like, mystical, magical alien city that has always been, like, a legend, right? But he saw it, and it exists now.
Atlantis.
But ghosts. It's called the Ghost City. But creative. But the experience of having this energy storm and seeing this city and everything basically gave him this fever and took away his abilities and gave him this horrible hallucinations, right? So that is the Cliff Notes of what happened to him.
So he went to Minas Morgul.
He went to what?
Minas Morgul. It was the twin city of Minas
Morgul.
before its fall to the forces of Sauron in the Third Age. Yes, I totally knew that. I did not look it up at all.
Minas Morgul? Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. I'm so impressed by your knowledge of Lord of the Rings.
Are you so turned on right now?
So he's like, so that's why I didn't come to see you, because this whole Psy fever thing, like, no one knows anything about it. People, basically, anyone who's ever had this Psy fever has either lost their mind or died. So he's
good.
Yeah, so he's been, like, holed up in his family's home, like, they're expecting him to go crazy because he hasn't died.
That's really it's like waiting for rabies.
Yeah, pretty much. But he hasn't gone crazy outside of these hallucinations, and he seems to be doing okay. So that's why he kind of took up this project. Is his family's like, okay, you need something to distract you, so why don't you go do this away from people where you can just work on things, right?
Wait for you to go crazy, essentially.
Yeah,
in the real way, while you don't go crazy in the stir crazy way.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, for this dude, action, like, will help him. Like, he needs to be doing something. He can't just sit in a room, right?
Yeah.
So after being told this horrible, traumatizing experience that this guy had, what would your response be to this one dude that stood you up for a coffee date once and him telling you why?
I'm so sorry that happened to you.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry that happened to you. Like,
So Ella's response is, you're just using it as an excuse. You could have at least sent a note. And she gets so mad at him. I'm like,
yeah,
what the hell?
Like, that's not being, and also it's so stupid because it's like, listen, in the modern age, like I said before, people get ghosted all the fucking time. Yeah. All the time. And so I'm like, okay, but now he has a legitimate excuse. Right. And you're like, going to call it just an excuse?
Right. It's a horrific, like he might go crazy and die. Like, of course he's worried about starting a relationship with someone. It's not exactly on the top of his list to take one random chick he saw for 3 seconds out for fucking coffee. Like, the hell?
Your Barbie dream crystals and get the fuck over yourself.
Right. Like, okay, sure, Ella. Don't worry. After all of this, they bone.
Finally.
Yeah, they bone.
Is it good?
No.
Oh.
It's not, and it's very short, so, you know. So they're interrupted in the middle. So after they bone, they sleep together, like just sleep, which is great for him because he needs the fucking sleep.
Yeah.
But they're interrupted in the morning by a murder.
Murder?
So Rafe has to go investigate, which means everyone knows that they've been fucking. Because he comes out of her room.
Oh no, darn, we're two consenting adults.
There's like a brief moment where she's like, both of them are like, oh, but you're so concerned about your image because of your dream counseling business, and then it never comes up again. So like everyone's kind of wandering around trying to figure out what happens. The local chef, like,
who was murdered?
Some random dude.
Okay, so but also though, I didn't have the context of other people were in rain shadow.
Yes, there's like a whole complex here of like people doing this like investigation and exploration stuff,
oh,
right?
Okay.
So they're with a bunch of other people. It's literally some random dude that they have no idea how he got there, and it will never come up again. But someone's murdered. Why not?
It will never come up again.
I mean, it does technically come up again. Basically, it has to do with this terrorist group that's actually like an environmental group that's just trying to get them to not explore the alien ruins. It has to do with that, but it's really a minor side plot point that doesn't really matter, quite frankly. It's basically a way for them to ferret out the people that have infiltrated this group. I don't know. So like, everyone's kind of like woken up in the middle of the night. They don't know what's happening. So like the local chef, like the chef on, in the area, like makes donuts for everyone and like brings out. Aww. It's very cute. So they literally that day, because they investigate this murder for all of like 3 hours, they decide to go down to the catacombs to figure out what to do about these dinosaurs. So we're going to go ahead and get Ella down there right away, get this figured out, right?
Yes.
That's what they're paying her for. So they go down there. They attract the attention of a dino. And actually, like, the way that they talk about this dino, like, hunting and everything, seems really cool. It was very interesting because it's, like, it really is, like, a siren kind of thing where, like, if you can hear it, it's, like, this, like, song that's just so full of, like, so much longing and sorrow and everything. Exactly like that. So it's very interesting, but she's able to sort of, like, disrupt the dino's song using her frequencies, using her siren abilities or whatever, and discover
special siren snowflake powers.
Yeah, pretty much, and discover what frequency will disrupt their song so that the scientists back at the lab can tune crystals to the specific frequency and ward off the dinos. Congratulations, that entire plot point is done now.
I love that the idea of scientists, because scientists in the modern age and crystals, like, they do not get along at all. Like, all that stuff, like.
So, that's done. So, in celebration, they go and have dinner with another dude who is definitely the subject of another book, and his wife. So they've kind of been talking, Rafe and Ella have been talking about his hallucinations, and she's kind of starting to realize and kind of tell him about this. She's like, I don't think that your hallucinations are a bad thing. Because so far, every time you've had a hallucination, it's been right before something bad has happened. I think that your hallucinations, I don't think you've lost your powers. I think your powers have changed, and I think these hallucinations are part of it. I think you're lucid dreaming, essentially.
It's
and
like Austin Powers, where it's like you never lost your mojo. It's always been there.
It's always been in there. It's just changed a little bit.
It just changed.
So Rafe, on their way back from this dinner, Rafe starts to hallucinate again. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to try this. I'm going to try actually paying attention to this because something is happening. And it's like wild hallucinations. But he's like, okay, I think we're about to get attacked or ambushed by somebody. So he's basically like can see the future. Like that's what he can do. Like, okay, that's his power now, which is rad. Actually, it's kind of neat.
Yeah.
So turns out he was right. They're able to stop the car. They run into the woods and like get away. And like right after they do it, 2 cars come from either direction and like ambush them. So he was right. So while they're running away, they run into this sort of like alien nature preserve where all the dinosaurs are. And they try to hide out there. And 2 people actually follow them. So Rafe and Ella are able to escape and like hide because it's nighttime, which is when the dinos are most active. And so the dinos are hunting. And there is a big dino that's about to come and murder these 2 dudes. Yeah, they're about to get fucked right up by essentially a singing T-Rex dino. Ella's like, I can't let them die. Oh, it's gonna be more powerful than that. She's like, I can't let them die. We have to like both for information and also because like I can't let them die. They're people, right?
They're still humans.
We aren't going to mention about how when they were talking about fixing the dino problem, they were talking about killing all the dinos. We won't talk about that. But the people, we got to save the people. So the evil people are trying to kill us. It's fine. So she straight up, like she starts singing because this dino's more powerful than the last one. She kills it. She kills the dinosaur. But before she sings it to death. But before she kills the dinosaur, she connects to the dinosaur and she learns that, all of these dinosaurs are actually dying anyway, and that's why their songs are so sad. So that makes it totally fine that we were going to kill them all anyway, because they're all dying.
It doesn't! Save the dinosaurs!
Well,
Jesus,
now
we
it's been
already
justified.
had one comet.
Now it's justified, I guess. So they're able to rescue the dudes, and they basically, like, they figure out who the murderer was, yada, yada, yada. Everything is great. So, not the end. We're almost at the end. There's like a epilogue. So Rafe ends up going back with her to the city. He's like, I like you, and I would like to go back with you, please, if that's cool with you.
I would like to go back to there with you, please.
Yes, exactly. She's like, sounds awesome, because he's starting to accept that his powers are changing, and like, you know, he's getting there. He's not fully accepted it yet, but he's getting there. So epilogue. They're at another wedding because like all of Ella's friends are getting married and she is the bridesmaid du jour. And while they're on the dance floor, Ella and Rafe start having a fight in the middle of the dance floor at a wedding about how they fight about going steady, essentially, because like he blames her for using her siren abilities as an excuse for not wanting to do a long-term relationship, and she blames him for using his fever thing and all of that stuff as an excuse for not wanting to do a long-term relationship, and they're just so mad at each other, and just talk about it. Oh my god.
Yeah,
anyway,
seriously.
be adults.
No.
So she
absolutely fucking not.
So she goes back with the brides and the bridesmaid to like have some champagne. She drinks the champagne and Margie,
it's poisoned.
It was poisoned.
No,
she gets kidnapped. Oh shit!
11th hour kidnapping.
Epilogue kidnapping, baby.
Oh, we love epilogue 11th hour kidnapping.
Yeah, we love an 11th hour kidnapping.
We do.
Turns out she wakes up in the catacombs. Gasp. The chef was the bad guy the whole time.
Oh, man, what a bummer.
I know, literally the only reason I mentioned the donuts. So...
Literally the only reason I mentioned the donuts.
Because he couldn't just come out of nowhere, right? I had to at least mention him at some point.
Yeah, good job. I am proud of you, because if that was... So I'm guessing he was the kind of character where it was like he was like, oh yeah, I get along with everybody. And then he's like, surprised.
Yeah. Well... While Ella was back busy getting kidnapped, Rafe had a hallucination and realized, oh shit, something's wrong. And Ella had left a note for him in lipstick as she was being dragged away. It was a donut. I'm not kidding. She drew a donut.
They didn't notice her leaving.
Because she was like on the verge of passing out, and because she was just drawing like a circle, it was like it was a donut. Literally a donut.
A clue!
Fucking Blue's Clues over here figures out that it was the chef. And so Ella wakes up in the catacombs with the bad guys, which is the chef and a couple other people. And it turns out that they haven't been after her at all this whole time. They've been after Rafe this whole time.
What?
Because Rafe has seen this mystical ghost city or whatever, and they think that he can lead them to it, which is what they want.
Sure, Jan.
Yeah. So Rafe ends up showing up with the head of the alien FBI. That's his friend, remember? Yeah, sure. And to rescue Ella. But as they're holding the chef guy, you know, at gunpoint, turns out, gasp, the head of the FBI is actually corrupt, and he is actually part of that organization. They leave you clues.
Too many layers. I don't like it now. I'm over it.
Yeah, they kind of leave you clues throughout, but not really. But then Margie... double surprise! Rafe already knew, so he brought other people, and everyone gets arrested. The end, and they get married or whatever. Yeah, and Rafe decides he's going to become a private investigator. That's the book.
Okay, I don't blame him though, because
yeah, right? Yeah. That
That
part actually was really funny because they were joking about it earlier, like in the way of like he makes a comment, and she's like, "You should be a detective," like in a like giving him shit kind of way, and then he actually becomes a private investigator at the end. So that was kind of funny. Yeah. So that was a lot.
Yeah.
I should have told you that we needed to play Spot the Plot, because most of the plot points end like not long after they start.
Yeah.
It was like a cascading plot. Yeah, so this book felt like every time like it started with a little bit of a plot, and then another plot would be introduced, and then the first plot would end, and then another plot would be introduced, and then the second plot would end, and then another one, and just kind of like, which was interesting. There wasn't like an overarching plot, which is what I tend to prefer. So that was kind of interesting. And we've definitely covered books that have been like that, but this is like the first time that I've been able to really, really clearly point it out if that's exactly what this author did, right?
Yeah.
It was kind of odd. I mean, it was, like I said, it suffered from, I had no idea what the hell was happening because nothing was explained, which you don't have to spell everything out. but
I will also say, looking at, you're like, so listeners, for context, Rachel has the book in her hand. It looks very long. Like, it looks kind of long.
yeah, it's not, let's see, it's 320 pages. So it's nothing too crazy.
It's nothing crazy, but it's like...
No. But a lot happened in those 320 pages. We had 2 prologues and an epilogue. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fine. It was one of those things where, like, if this wasn't the author's, like, 40th book, I would say I want to see... Like, if this was the author's first book, I would say, oh, I'm curious what they'll do later, like, as they write more.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of interesting ideas in it that I would have been interested in exploring, but they just weren't very
Not
well
played
fleshed
well.
out. And if we're being honest, any book that is right under the author's name says never before published is always going to be a little sus.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, there are interesting ideas in here, but none of them were really explored
Fleshed out.
I think. Yeah. So rating wise, our girl, she was kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give her a 2 because again she had some interesting.
Generous. Do you think that she's well fleshed out?
She has. Yes and no. She has, again, a lot of interesting things that could have, like, if she had reacted to them as a normal human would, could have made a really interesting character.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel like she reacted in a normal human way to a lot of things.
Yeah.
But she was, like, a very, like, not strong character, but, like, her powers were strong kind of character. And they do go into, like, her family. Like, she comes from a family of famous musicians, and she has 0 musical talent. But she's a siren, so, like, she's singing outside of this range. And, I mean, she was fine. Yeah, 2. Generous 2. I don't want it, like, maybe 1.5, 2. Somewhere around there.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Again, interesting concepts, not well fleshed out.
Mm-hmm.
Rafe had some very interesting things happen to him, but I know nothing about his past or history or anything like that outside of this very traumatic event that happened to him. So I'm going to give him a 1.5 as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, the traumatic event was interesting. There was some interesting stuff there, and he was dealing with a lot, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
About the same for them. 1.5, 2, somewhere around there. Sex wasn't great. It was a 1. It was I mean, it was
No, tell her,
whatever.
Hey, Patreon, it was great and amazing, and we can't wait to tell you about it.
No, it was terrible, and we're going to read how terrible it was, and then we're going to talk about crystals. Even better.
Yeah, even better. That is true.
Plot, I'm torn on plot, because it wasn't good, and there was a lot that happened, but I feel like, again, there were so many interesting ideas that could have been really cool. I'm gonna give it a 2.5 for a plot, which feels a little generous, but at the same time, we've had some fucking wild plot things happen. So, like, this was fine. It had really interesting points, but there was also a lot of insanity happening. So I feel like that's, like, a solid rating. Overall, I'm gonna give this one probably a 3 feels right.
Okay. That's
because, like,
generous.
It really,
out of 5.
Wasn't bad. Out of 10 for overall.
Oh, 10. Okay.
Yeah, overall it's
okay.
out of 10.
Oh, overall. I'm sorry. I thought we were still... I don't know why. I thought we were on plot.
Overall, I'm going to give it a 3.
Okay.
Which... I'm torn between, like, a 3 or a 4. Because it was fine. It wasn't bad.
No, but it wasn't great.
It wasn't great. I wouldn't read it again. And like I said, I almost didn't read it until I hit the dinosaur part. And then I was like, well, I can't not. I have to read it now. So on the things, like, list of things that, like, were really interesting, could have been really interesting, when they're describing the dinosaurs hunting, it was pretty cool. Because, like, their mirrored, like, skin or whatever is, like, camouflage, essentially. So they're moving through this, like, crystalline, landscape.
Very cool.
It was really cool. And I'm like, this is rad. Like, I don't know. So, yeah. So I'm going to say a 4. I'm going to go a 4 overall. Because there were some really cool parts.
Okay. I think that's still generous, but okay. I'm gonna no, you read the book. You know better than I. But
well, I'm gonna, you know what? We're gonna call this a choose your own adventure, listener. You decide whether you want to give it a 3 or a 4. Yeah. Yeah, so there you go. There's Siren's Call. Thank you, Dayton Metro Library, for providing me with a leather mommy
Heyo.
instead of a leather
Which
daddy.
the leather never came in.
No, they don't wear leather. None of them do. In fact, he wears jeans a lot. Yeah. Well, thank you all. I hope that was fun. I love me a good leather daddy sci-fi. Or paranormal, perhaps.
Yeah.
There's a little bit less sci-fi. Still love a leather daddy sci-fi.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah. Always. Even if it
Early
was written in
2000s,
2015.
meaning 2015.
Yeah, right.
I
To be
guess
fair,
in
I looked it
100
up.
years, that will be
The-
early 2000s.
The first book in this series came out in 2000.
Oh, okay. Well, you know.
Sorry, not this series specifically. This is a sub-series of a larger series, and the first book in the larger series came out in 2000.
Oh, bless their heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, thank you, A. Linario, for the use of your song "Oh Love" off the album Beheld. It slaps. And thank you, our beautiful listeners, for hanging out. This was fun. This was delightful.
It was.
I hope y'all had fun too. And hey, patrons, hit us up on Under the Covers. It's gonna be great.
Yes. Can't wait to see you there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. We love you so much.
For crystals. Barbie's
For
Treehouse
crystals.
crystals.
Wom, 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 wom.
Bye.
Wom, wom, wom.